Are you tired of not being able to kill multiple bosses in Catacombs? Because obviously the timer is not enough to be able to kill 6 bosses in 30 minutes. Or you're just constantly dying over and over again, not being able to get as powerful to win against these hard bosses. But you love Catacombs and you really want that overcharged set or that elementally charged set that can do some insanely good damage and give you a lot of tankiness. Well, there's a weird strategy that just came out that people are using to not only get to their 4th and 5th boss, but also to a 6th boss. So in this video, we're gonna go through exactly how it works so you can do the same and progress through these fights to get you your set and your gear. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi if you want to support my content. Go to my Twitch to watch me live every morning. And let's get into it. So first of all, how does Catacombs work? You have an entirely procedurally generated dungeon with 6 bosses. The more bosses you kill, the harder it gets. And the more enemies you kill, the more of this purple currency you get. When you get 100, you're able to level up in these angels. You have to use your souls, spend them, and you'll get more damage and more health. So obviously you just normally go around finding this stuff and you win, right? Well, if you just do it this way, it'll be very hard for you to explore everything and get all the bosses. Because every time you kill a boss, everything gets stronger. Not only the bosses, but all the enemies. So the new strategy, you don't kill the bosses. Not until the very end. But Darren's, if you don't kill the bosses, then you don't get any loot. Well, because you're going and farming everything, by the time that you get to the bosses, you're so overpowered that you die instantly and can just go 1, 2, 3, 4 super fast. For example, in this run, we started right here. And you can see here how I actually had killed both of these bosses already. But they're the hardest ones. They're the ones that are the end of the Catacombs. What we did is we went through here. We leveled up, we saw that one of the bosses was here and we ignored it because we can do all of this farming with very easy mobs that don't do a lot of damage and don't take long to kill, and then we can just go back. We kept going, and you can see here as well, this boss right here, we skipped it too. Even though we had to cross it, as long as you don't actually activate the blue bubble, you can just skip and go through the boss. And that's exactly what we did here. We explored everything here, we went through here, explore everything here, got a lot of buffs, then kill this boss, and then went back. I didn't take a picture afterwards. After this boss, we went through this side, here, and killed the 4th boss. We couldn't really get 5th and 6th because we had a healer and a tank, so our damage was not really there. But it was super chill, and we were just very much killing all this was very fast. Another important part is to remember which bosses are where. For example, Regent is super easy, so you can leave it to the end so you can kill it then while it's super buffed. The Ghost Lady instead, the Soul Eater, is pretty difficult, especially as melee. So this one probably should be killed very easy, very fast in a low level, so you know, you don't struggle too much. The same applies for the Fire Lady. She's also insanely difficult and she will one-shot you, so definitely put it at one of the first ones to actually kill. Another thing that I heavily recommend is not to do every one of the rooms. Sometimes you gotta do rooms like this, that is just this challenge where you have to sit here for 30 seconds to open the door, but you can ignore this type of rooms. They don't give you more power. This one in particular gives you that potion, the erosion potion, that heals you through that specific debuff that you get whenever you get hit. But ideally, you don't want to be getting hit in the first place. You still want some of these potions, but if you already have some of them, you can skip rooms like this. The rooms with the corrupted summoning circles, I also like ignoring if I can, because most of the time they don't really give you a lot of enemies. Sometimes they give you these raffle bones that just run around, and they don't really give you any of the purples souls to give you more power, so it's kind of a waste of time. The raffle bones particularly doesn't give you anything. It just gives you sterling, which, well, it's nice, but I would just rather killing more bosses to get that sterling from them. The corrupted crystals are also not entirely the best. If you can skip them, that's probably a good idea, as they take a long time to kill to spawn the ads. and sometimes very powerful. They're okay, they're not the worst, they will give you souls. It's just I would rather go into an actual room with all the enemies that I can see, and I don't have to wait for them to spawn for me. The rest I would always do. The only times that I wouldn't go and explore is when I know that it's close to a boss. So why would I do this room right here where I can do it afterwards when I'm coming back to it, for example? You want to have a little bit of a planned route while you're exploring of when you're gonna go back to a place. This will be hard at the start, but the more you play, you'll get the hang of it. It is very important, though, that you talk to your team beforehand. You pick the group chat, which I don't have here right now, but you say, hey guys, let's skip bosses and do them at the end. It's easier. And this way, they know what you're doing and they won't just randomly start doing bosses by themselves. And if they actually end up doing this, then, well, I mean, you're in their team. I guess you should have brought your friends instead. But for me, this has worked very well for Pogs, personally. Now, speaking of Pogs, let's talk about composition. On Pogs, you don't really get the choice on what's gonna happen. For example, right here, I got tank, DPS, and a healer, which is not the worst thing, but it will make it so you have less damage. Ideally, you want to have essentially 3 DPSers who have a little bit of tankiness, a little bit of leeching. You can essentially just get your power from the special powers in this roguelike, in these dungeons, that will heal you while doing damage. Immortality Rally, that a heavy hit gives you at 40% health, it gives you immortality and heals you a lot. Super good. Blood Offering gives you little orbs when you crit. It's an insanely good one and everybody can pick it up. These little red orbs have completely just saved runs because of this. But if you get yourself with a healer and not 3 DPSers or 1 tank and 2 DPSers, then you want to go full damage instead. Depending on the composition, depending on your build, you have to pick your powers correctly. If you're missing damage, go damage. If you're missing healing, go healing. It'll depend on the builds of your allies and yourself. Now, in terms of perks, I feel like you go for the same things that you always go for, right? Like more health, refreshing for cooldown, enchanted ward, wellness, all these things. I have another video on the good perks for this season, so you can maybe get a good idea of what things are good or not. I also find the physical ward as a gem for the armor super good, because this way you can just not, you know, get less damage done with physical attacks from Catacombs, which end up being most of them anyways. Essentially, everything that makes you a little bit more tanky, even as a DPS, is pretty good here. That being said, for weapons, of course, this will depend on the type of build you have, and you just want to bring a lot of damage. Crit, though, ends up being super good because there's a lot of interaction with crit, giving you more crit damage and giving you more crit chance, as well as giving you sustain with those little healing orbs whenever you crit. So, crit on Catacombs, absolutely great. The Blood Drinker, absolutely great as well, as it gives you a lot of healing when you're doing damage. That being said, guys, be careful. Just because you can heal yourself a lot doesn't mean that you should be hitting everything without dodging or blocking. At the end of the day, if that little red bar just gets to the top, you're gonna get double damage done to yourself, so you really don't want that happening. I'll heavily recommend you to put it somewhere where you can see it very clearly, so you can keep track of it, even as a DPS, as you get hit a lot in this game mode. Also, guys, remember to pick your erosion tonics and put them in your inventory, otherwise, well, you're gonna get completely memed by erosion. And for the last secret that will maybe, hopefully, save your run, if you're killing a boss, and the boss will obviously give you the possibility of extracting, as long as you have 1 second left on the activity ending, if you're able to initiate the exit portal event just before it ends, 1 second beforehand, it will work, and you will indeed be able to leave without losing your loot. So you can definitely use this to be a bit more greedy. In this case, for example, let's say that the activity ending had gone to 0 after the actual event happened, I will still be able to do the extraction event and leave while getting all of my loot. And there you go, that's the entire video. Hopefully this helped you. If you have any other cool tricks, things that I didn't think about, let me know. Maybe we can make a second version of this. Who knows? I'm sure that people will come up with new stuff, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a thing because, look, being a new player in this game is pretty hard. It's very, very, very confusing game. I guess it's an MMO, so what did I expect? But yeah, you know, I'm sure it'll change. Hopefully this helps you and you can start blasting a little bit more. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Go to my Ko-Fi. If you want to support my content, go to my Twitch to watch me live every morning. See you guys around. Love you all. Ciao, ciao.